So a few points. The situation has become very dire. I'm sure many people are following what's going on. The communication has been completely cut off in Gaza right now. The bombing has been taking place at night. And what is happening is that this oppressive government is trying to cover up their crimes and trying to commit genocide against the people of Gaza and the people of Palestine. So, the first thing we have to remember is a statement of Imam Shafi'i. Imam Shafi'i was one of the great scholars, and he's one of the founders of the Shafi'i madhab. This is the Shafi'i school of thought and fiqh. He said, مَنِ اسْتُغْضِبَ وَلَمْ يَغْضَبْ فَهُوَ حِمَارٌ. So that whoever is aroused to anger and does not get angry, they're no better than a donkey. Which means that if you witness something and you see something that not only saddens you but frustrates you or makes you angry, then it is natural. Allah made it in a way, Allah made us in such a way where we're going to be upset. We're going to be mad. We're going to be frustrated by what's going on in the world and what is taking place right here in front of our very eyes. And we see the people who are in positions of power who preach human rights and human values doing nothing about it. In fact, openly supporting that. So the first thing I want to convey and remind everyone is that if you're feeling an initial sense of anger or frustration, this is natural and this is normal and this is part of being human. And on Saturday, last Saturday, we had Dr. Marwa Azab. She came and she gave a program about how we're supposed to deal with situations and events like this. I really recommend you watch the video. It's a really good, very important video. She talked about not just being resilient, but she talked about Muslims needing to have PTG, post-traumatic growth. Instead of PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, or whatever that is, PTG, post-traumatic growth. When you go through something, you're going to be able to grow and become better than you were before. So this is the first thing. The second thing, though, is important that when you get angry, you channel that anger properly. You don't channel it against your family. You don't channel it against the imam. You don't channel it against your friends. You don't channel it against people who've not done anything wrong. You channel it against people or in a productive way that's actually going to make a change in the situation. That's actually going to improve things. So this is point number 2. Point number 3 is that the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is true. فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ. Whoever does a speck of good will see it. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. And whoever does a speck of evil, they're going to see it on the Day of Judgment. So many people are falling into this idea of black or white. It's all or nothing. Either I'm going to be able to save every single person in Gaza, or I'm going to be able to do nothing. We can't achieve anything, we can do nothing. We either save them all, and immediately this comes to a stop, or there's no point in doing anything. This is not the way that it works, brothers and sisters. Every little thing that you do, not only are you going to see it in the Yawm al-Qiyamah, on the Day of Judgment, but it has an effect. The bombs that are being dropped until now are with our taxpayer money. Every single conversation, every individual, one person that you can influence or affect, it has a net effect. Don't think it doesn't have any effect. It may not have reached critical mass to be able to stop something like this yet, but it has an effect. Everybody has a role to play. Everyone has something to do. So don't think that the small little things that you do doesn't do anything. It does something. So these small things, they have an effect and they matter. And the last thing is that justice may not be in this life. We as Muslims, we believe in an akhirah. Some of these people who are committing these atrocities right now, we may think, you know what, they get away with their crimes. Some people who bombed the people of Iraq, that bombed the people of Afghanistan in the last 20 years, how many millions of people they killed? The one politician who 500,000, 500,000 Iraqi children were killed. And she asked, it was a Madeleine Albright, she asked, was it worth it? And she said, it was worth it. You don't think that she's going to be held questioned by Allah on the Day of Judgment? Every single one of these oppressors is going to be questioned on the Day of Judgment. Do not think for a moment that if somebody gets away with their crimes in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to get them. And the reality is, when you read these verses, it brings comfort to your heart. You can say, all these psychologists and secular philosophers can say whatever they want. Oh, belief in the hellfire, it's so bad and it's evil, and why would you want somebody to suffer? No. Allah has made us in such a way that every zalim, every tyrant, every oppressor that has wronged somebody, they're going to get what they deserve on the Day of Judgment. And this brings comfort to the heart of any person with the least amount of justice, sense of integrity. Every oppressed person, every person who's being wronged, they know that this person is going to be held accountable in front of Allah for everything that they did. It brings comfort to the heart. Allow it to bring comfort to your heart. Don't doubt in it. There is no doubt in the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help our brothers and sisters. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to see things properly and in the true way that they should be seen. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to process this and do what we can in our capacity, in our own capacity, to help them in this dunya. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the ajr of whatever we do in the akhirah. Ameen. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.